Hey guys, Gathering Magic back again, and it's time for the next episode of the Splinterlands Market Watch. Today is November 3rd, 2024. This is episode number 23, so we're going to go over all the different card prices, pack prices, token prices, all that good stuff. So we're going to get started, of course, with tokens, look at SPS vouchers and DEC. So a little bit of a decline in the last day or two from where we were 2 weeks ago. As you can see, 2 weeks ago, SPS was sitting at 0.0085. Currently, as I looked at the prices this morning, just under 0.008 at 79, so a little bit of a dip there. Vouchers continue to trend lower. They were right around a penny a couple weeks ago. As you can see, 0.0085. Now we're down to 0.0078. And DEC has gone down this morning as well. We were sitting anywhere from 80 cents to 85 cents per thousand. Currently, we are sitting at 78 cents per thousand for DEC. Okay, speaking of vouchers, over the last 2 weeks, we've added just over 365,000 vouchers to the supply. So currently, we're sitting at 14.2 million. So we're adding 26,000 vouchers per day. As you guys know, the team prints 40,000 vouchers a day. 2 weeks ago, this number was, I believe, around half of this, maybe around 15,000 a day we were growing. So voucher use has really slowed down. The only use that I can think of basically is for the Mana Warden card. And, people have pretty much all the copies that they need of that card by now. So the voucher use has really slowed down. SPS burn. This amount they've changed on the one site that I use, so I'm going to have to update this in the following weeks. I have it separated by how much SPS is burnt, not including node licenses. So with node licenses added to this total, you're looking at about 125 million SPS burnt in total. So in the last 2 weeks, we burned over 500,000 SPS, so we're burning just under 40,000 SPS per day. You can see now our total SPS supply that was 3 billion is now sitting at 2,873,000,000. All right, so let's move on to packs. So what have pack prices done in the last 2 weeks? Some of the older sets, of course, pretty much don't change every day to day or week to week. They stay pretty consistently. Same thing for alpha packs. There's not really hardly any alpha packs that sell. So the price has stayed, right around that $49 mark. There were no packs that sold 2 weeks ago, and there's no packs that were opened in the last 2 weeks. So we're still sitting at 4,238 packs. Beta went up a little bit, went up from $8.50 to just under $10 in game on the marketplace. There were 18 more packs that got added to the circulation. I'm not sure if these are packs that were won as part of opening chests and getting one of the jackpot prizes, but we're just over 20,000 beta packs remaining. Looking at Untamed, price went up just a dime, up to $7.60. 5 packs came off the market, so we're just sitting over 44,000 packs there. Looking at dice, we moved up from $5.75 to just under $6 a pack. 6 packs were opened over the last 2 weeks, and we're sitting at just over 5,000 dice packs. Orb had a big price jump, went from $7 to $8.50, and 31 packs were opened over the last 2 weeks. We still have over 6,800 packs available. Chaos Legion is still staying right around 30 cents. The price will fluctuate between Hive and in-game anywhere from, I've seen it as low as 26 cents up to about 34. As of time of this recording, it's still selling for 32 cents a pack on the marketplace. And about a month ago, we went under 2 million packs left, finally. We're currently at 1,962,000 packs, and we've opened about 1,000 packs a day over the last 2 weeks. Rift Watchers went up a little bit, went up from $1.71 a pack to $1.85. 2 weeks ago, we had the big Rift Watcher pack opening where there was over 1,000 packs that came off the market. Over the last 2 weeks, this is more normal, right? Just under 150 packs were opened, and we're still sitting at 121,000 Rift Watcher packs. And this is not including the over 200,000 packs that is held by the DAO. These are packs that are just available that are in circulation. And then finally for packs for Rebellion, still holding strong, 335 at the time of this recording, but it has been pretty consistently been between about $3.45 to $3.55. Currently, between what is open and what is sold, there's 962,719 packs that have sold. So we're selling right at 300 packs a day. If we continue this through the end of the sale, which should be sometime just before Christmas when Rebellion will end, we're not going to hit 1 million packs. I think we're going to hit about maybe 973,000. So unless we get a big bump in sales, right towards the end, it looks like we're not going to hit 1 million packs of Rebellion. Okay, moving on to card sets. So starting like we always do with Alpha. Alpha cards, the commons, the floor has moved up from 40 cents to 74. I believe there's only 2 or 3 cards now on the marketplace for Alpha commons that are under $1. So the floor has really moved up from where it was several months ago, where consistently you had 8 to 10 cards that were in the 40 to 60 cent range for commons. So Alpha commons are starting to dry up off the marketplace. The ceiling is still right around $3 for the highest common. Rares just under $2 to right around 10 for the rares. Epics, 350. The 6237 one, I believe there's only one of on the markets. That's why you have that large price for an Epic card. And then legendary cards, you're looking at 2205 for the floor, up to 140. Gold foil cards, you can see not a whole lot of movement here. Price is pretty steady over the last 2 weeks. Commons, the floor is just over $13. That $800 one has been sitting there for quite a while. Gold foil rares, the floor moved up from $49 to just under $70. Epics and legendaries are pretty much the same. The only movement, the gold foil legendary card, the Lord of Darkness, gold foil that had been on the marketplace for $2,300 is gone. So now the only gold foil legendaries for Alpha are Selenius Sky still at 12,000 and the Elemental Phoenix for 155,000. And then your promo cards, kind of interesting that the common is more expensive than the rare. Currently the common Dragon promo is sitting at 14 or 1845. The rare at 1445. The Epic did come down from $45 down to 30. And there's no copies of the legendary promo. Looking at your gold foil, the one big price movement was 2 weeks ago. The rare had jumped to 357. It was in the 150 range, I believe, and currently it is back down to 149. And the gold foil epic that was available 2 weeks ago is gone. So there are no Alpha gold foil epic or legendary promo cards on the marketplace. Okay, moving to beta. So about a month ago, there was kind of, I want to call it, maybe a buyout of the common cards where the floor had gone up to 12 cents, was the cheapest beta common. 2 weeks ago, they dropped down to 6, and now currently they're back down to what has been the normal price over the last 6 months, about 2 or 3 cents for the cheapest beta common card, up to 95 cents. Rares, you're sitting in that just over 20 cents to $2 range. Epic, 61 cents. This $32 one is kind of an outlier. Normally it'll be about, $6 to $8 for an Epic. And then your legendary, you're right at that $4 range for the floor, up to 90. For your gold foils, $1.83 as the floor for a gold foil common, up to 14. This is a more normal range. You can see 2 weeks ago we had that single copy they were trying to sell for 90 bucks. Your gold foil rares are usually right around $6 for the floor, 50 for the high end, so that's about right. Gold foil epics selling for just under 28, up to 250-ish. And then your gold foil legendaries, the floor dropped a little bit from 160 down to 140, and still have the same gold foil legendaries selling for $3,450. For your promo cards, the Summoner, he went from $1.20 down to $1.10. The rare dropped from 61 cents down to 50. The Epic promo went from 3 down to 278. And then the big news for the promo cards is the Red Dragon. dropped from $18 to under 11. So this is the cheapest I think I've seen the Red Dragon for a single BCX. Typically it's anywhere 12 to 18 seems to be the range, so there is a copy now under 11. So if you've been waiting to pick up this card, this is the lowest price that I've seen it. Prince Julian went from 2,000 down to 1,700, and then Archmage Arius that had that huge price spike 2 weeks ago, where it was just under $4,000 listing, is now down to just under 700. Your gold foil versions of the promo cards, the common, the summoner, went from 1130 down to just over 10. The rare card stayed at 25 and the epic stayed at 40. And there are no gold foil legendary cards for beta for the promo cards. Okay, moving to Untamed. So Untamed, you can see the prices here, pretty much standard, not a whole lot of movement here. Commons 1 cent to 47. Your rares 5 cents up to 88 cents. Your epics 21 cents to 223, and then your legendary cards, the floor moved up from just under 2 to 229, and then the ceiling is right at 50 bucks. For your gold foils, you're looking at basically 50 cents to 450 for a common, $2 to $10 for a rare, 10 to 50 for an epic, and then for a gold foil legendary, currently at $64.50 up to $1,000. So how did some of the key cards fare over the last couple weeks? So Kitty, 2 weeks ago was 50, basically the same now, 49.95. Same thing with Llama, right at 28. Jotun had a little bit of a bump up from 32 to 37.50. And then Kron, a month or so ago, had peaked up to 30. Now he's back down to 11. So Kron has gone from 10 to 18 to 30, now back down to 15 and back to 11. So this has really bounced around in price. The gold foil versions, you can see here, Kitty's still right around 700. Llama came down from 500 to 400. Jotun came down from 475 to 420. And then Kron dropped from 160 to $143. And then finally your promo cards, Halfling Alchemist, pretty much unchanged. It's sitting at $1.57. Chain Golem, this might be the lowest that I've seen Chain Golem. I've seen it in the teens. I've seen it in the low to mid 20s. It kind of bounces all around. $7.80, $8 for the last few weeks. Now it's under 6. So if you're looking to pick up a copy of Chain Golem, now is a good time. See if you can snag a copy for under $6. The Mighty Dricken card is gone. Don't know if they took it down or if it's sold, but there's not one available on the market. And the gold foil versions, the Alchemist dropped from 100 down to 88. Chain Golem went down from 60 to $50. Okay, dice. Very small set, very quick to go through. For some reason, the high end of the commons over the last few weeks, they've been asking like 25, 30 cents, which is way too much for those cards. You never see those cards played, even in Wild. So the high end of the commons came back down to 10 cents, so that's more realistic. The rares, which are the summoners, I believe Quid was the one a couple weeks ago that was down to 9 cents. I said, can Quid get some love? So the floor has now moved up to 18 cents and just over $1 for the high end. Your epics, you're sitting at 30 cents to 70 cents. And then finally your legendary cards, 244 to 60. Gold foil versions, not a lot of movement. You guys can see it's pretty consistent. 50 cents to $1 basically for a common. $3 up to 29 for the rares. Remember, these are summoners. I believe the summoner this week that is the highest price is not Mylor. I believe it's Bright and Bloom, sitting at just under 29. Gold foil epics, 12 to 28.50. And then finally your gold foil legendaries, you're looking at $63.50 to $300. So when I go through part 2 of the Market Watch, we're going to look more at the gold foil rare dice cards, the summoners, because I think there is some good deals available that I want you guys to be aware of. Okay, let's go to Orb next. So once again, another very small set, very easy and quick to go through. So your commons, pretty consistent, 5 to 10 cents for a common, 22 to 36 for a rare, really no movement here. The 2 epic cards in the set, one is selling for 95 cents, one for 96. Both very good cards, the Dwarven Wizard and the Mermaid Healer. So if you are playing in Wild and you're looking to pick up either one of those cards, this is a good time too, as they're both under $1. And then your legendary cards usually sell for 8 to 12 bucks. A couple of them have gone up in price, so now the high-end legendary is now $18. Your gold foil version, $225 to $743 for a common, almost 8 to 9 for a rare, pretty consistently. No gold foil epics on the marketplace again, so no gold foil copies of the Mermaid Healer or the Dwarven Wizard. And then legendary cards are the same as they have been for quite a while. The Minotaur Warlord for $700, and the Corrupted Pegasus for $1,400. Okay, now on to Chaos Legion. So now we get to the sets where there's a lot more to talk about, just because of the Soulbound cards. As far as the regular Chaos Legion cards go, the only real, I don't know if you want to call it big movement that I noticed, and of course I'll go through this more in detail in part 2, is the rares went up in price from 17 cents to 32, and this one was Kelia. So a lot, as you know, that all the Chaos Legion cards have been drifting lower and lower in price. So I was kind of surprised to see Kelia almost doubled in price over the last 2 weeks and is up to 32 cents. For an epic as well, epics have been in that 22 to 25 cent range for the high end. Now there's a card that's up to 38 cents. I believe it's Agor, the epic from Water. So that one is spiked up to 38 cents. And then for the legendary, 50 cents to about $5 has been consistent. The card that spiked up in price this week is Lily Shieldpaw. So Lily is currently sitting at $6, is the cheapest copy on the market, and I believe there are not very many on the marketplace. I think there was only like 4 or 5. So this might be the only single BCX, so we'll go through that in part 2. As far as the gold foil regular Chaos Legion cards, the only real movement here, this $22 one for gold foil epic, there was a single copy of, I believe it was Weirding Warrior, and it was a level 5, so it was like a 7 BCX. So you can see that would be about a $3, $3.50 card. So just because there's no single copies, that's why this one is listed for $22. So still a good time to pick up epics in that $250 to $350 range if you're looking for some really good production points for land workers. And then for gold foil legendaries, the floor moved up from $16 to just under $19. For the Soulbound cards, you can see here the lower end cards really didn't change much. Your commons are still selling 5 to 6 cents. Your rares 19 cents to 25. The floor on the epics went up from 91 to $1, and then the high end is up to $1.21. And your legendaries, the floor actually fell 10 cents down to $4.89, but the high end card went from just under $6 to over $7. And this, as you can guess, is Isiar. So Isiar is now selling for over $7 a BCX. And then for your gold foils, is there really a whole lot of movement here? Commons roughly the same. I mean, the high end's a little bit higher, $1.60 to $1.99. The rares high end fell from 12 to 9.30. Your epics pretty much 26 to 40 seems to be about the range. And even though this is the same as 2 weeks ago, the gold foil legendaries, same range, 108 to 198. There are only 9 different cards available on the market out of the 12. So 3 of the gold foil legendaries have no copies on the marketplace. And we'll go into depth and more on that in part 2. Okay, your promo cards. So the common promos, the Bear and Vruz. You can see not a lot of movement here. Bear is the same price. Vruz came down a few cents down to 17. The Bear selling the gold foil just over $1. And then Vruz that had spiked over 4 is now down to $2.75. Sure had that big price increase. Last market watch went from about 8 to 20. Now it's back down to $13.50. And Dr. Blight, I think this is the first time I've seen Dr. Blight for sale under $10 a BCX. So if you guys are like me, you love Dr. Blight, I picked one up a month or 2 ago. Was so happy to get one for like $11 or $12. There is now one just over $9. So if this is a card that you've always wanted to own, this is about as affordable as I've seen this card. So if you want this card, go grab it. Zerial, 30 bucks down to 28. Waka, remember Waka and Lux are both max level summoners. Waka's down to under 100 bucks at 95, and Lux is under 200 at 195. And then your gold foil versions, Oshure, look at this price spike. So Oshure was 31.28 2 weeks ago. Now gold foil Oshure is sitting at 95. So I'm not sure if I would pick up this card on this price spike. I would wait for this to settle back down more around 30 to 40. Dr. Blight, gold foil for 46. Gold foil Zero at 124. Gold foil Waka at 639. And that gold foil Lux that was available a couple weeks ago for $3,000 is now gone off the marketplace. Okay, moving to Rift Watchers. The big price for Rift Watchers, at least for the regular cards, was Queen of Crows, the rare, was 32 cents a couple weeks ago. Now it's up to 66 cents. The epics are pretty much the same for the summoners, 20 cents to, $1.30, $1.40. Your legendaries, the low end ones, are just above $1. Inevitable, that was 35 2 weeks ago, is down under 27. Gold foils, really not a whole lot of change here as well, except for a gold foil epic. Now you notice the high end one is $33. Surprisingly, that is not Ilthane, that is Skargor. For some reason, there's not any Skargors on the marketplace, single BCX, other than this $33 one. So kind of a buyout that went on, I guess, with Skargor, and then a person listed a single copy for $33. For your legendaries, you can see here, 26 bucks up to $189 is the range there. Okay, and then finally we'll get on to Rebellion. So Rebellion commons and just prices across the board, as you can see, are holding very strong. Commons 4 cents to 36, rares 10 cents to $1.31, epic 60 cents to $3.33, and legendaries just under $3 up to you-know-who, Tofu sitting at 54. Your gold foils, 39 cents to 4.15 for a common. So very strong prices for gold foil commons for a new set to see, $4 commons. Gold foil rares, $1.25 to just under 9. Gold foil epic, $6.30 up to 25. And your gold foil legendaries, you're sitting at $35 for the floor up to $2.75. As far as the soulbound cards go, is there really a whole lot of movement? Other than the legendaries and epics, there's really no movement. Your commons, 8 to 10, 8 to 12 cents. Your rares, the range is getting tighter, 37 to 45 cents for the rares. But the epics, the high ends, are starting to go up a little bit. So you can see the floor is still around just over $1.80. But the ceiling asking price is up to $2.70. Same thing for the legendaries. 2 weeks ago, the ceiling was around 12. Now you're looking at 18. And then for the gold foils, you're looking at $2 to just under $5 for a common. $4.25 seems to me too low for a rare. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head what it is to unlock a gold foil rare. I thought it was like $8. It might have been 10 if DEC was at PEG. So where DEC is now, it should be 8. So to see this at $4.25 is way low, if I have my numbers right. So I'll have to go and double check, but this seems under burn value at $4.25, especially where 2 weeks ago the floor was $6. So if you're looking to pick up a gold foil rare for the new soulbound cards, that might be a steal. Your epics, $40 to $65. There was only 3 of the 7 available. So the $65 one, I think, was Olivia, and the $40 one, I believe, was the Thandorian Blade. So not very many copies of the epics on the marketplace. And as you can see, there's probably never going to be a gold foil legendary on the market. Just too expensive to unlock. Looking at key cards, there was some movement for the key cards. Probably the big winner of the week is Kai. Had been just under $5, and now it is currently just under $8. So very good price movement for Kai. A Kane, basically unchanged, just went down a little bit to 13. Rage down to 1785. Darg 1575. Venka moved up from just under 24 to 26. Lorcus is sitting at 2550. Cryptic 2370. As we mentioned earlier, Tofu still holding about $50 at 54. EMP sitting at 18. Nidhogger sitting at 23.65. And then one card I forgot weeks ago to add it, Brisquel, the squirrel. Forgot to add that card for the price movement, so I wanted to make sure I added it now. He's sitting currently at $17. You can see the prices of the gold foils here. Darg went up a little bit from 58 to 75. Tofu dropped from 550 to 275, so that one dropped in half basically. EMP came down a little bit from 105 to 94, and Nidhogger had a big drop from 190 to 130. And then finally your promo cards. Grimbard & Smith and Manaroth, the ones that have been around for quite a while, still holding pretty good value. 265, still sitting at 260. Manaroth is sitting at 34.50. The big movement for promo cards, surprisingly to me, was Enforcer. You know, this card has been drifting lower and had gone down to 50 cents. But the regular foil moved from 50 cents to 95. And then look at the gold foil. The gold foil went from 3 to 685, more than doubled. So not sure why the big sudden interest in Enforcer, but yeah, that card basically doubled in price over the last 2 weeks. Baron Fiat dropped from 374 to 340. Mana Warden, the card you can buy with vouchers, currently sitting at 13 cents. Sanctus went from 249 down to 231. And Eleanor dropped just slightly under $40 from 43.06 to 39.42. And then Stalker on the list is currently selling at 239. Gold foil versions, Grimbard & Smith still selling just over 20 bucks. Manaroth sitting at 350. As I mentioned, Enforcer jumped up to 685. Baron Fiat, though, gold foil, which had been pretty consistently $65, $67, is down to $34.90. So if you're looking to pick up a gold foil Baron Fiat, this is a low price compared to where it has been. Mana Warden a month ago was $3. Now he's down to $1.65 as more and more gold foils are appearing on the marketplace. Gold foil Sanctus still holding above 18 to 1840. Gold foil Eleanor, which had been for pretty consistently at 500, is still holding at 450. And then gold foil Stalker sitting at just under 15 bucks at 1468. Okay, guys, there you have it. There are all the prices and all the news for the Market Watch for Splinterlands for November 3rd, 2024. Like I said, later today I will record part 2 where we will go through the market. We'll be able to see all the cards, the liquidity, how many are in circulation, how many are available for sale. We'll look at some of the outlier prices and see if that is for a single BCX copy or for a multiple BCX card. So stay tuned for part 2 later today. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you again soon. So remember, stay the course, keep on forging, have fun.